This miner is not for you. That miner is not for your everyday home GPU miner. That miner is not for a well-established home miner. That miner is not for a mining farm operator with big boy miners like this. So who is this perfect for? It's meant for that friend, that family member, that coworker looking to get into crypto mining and learn a little bit without breaking the bank. All right, let's take a closer look at the Goldshell Byte. So let's get this opened up here. Box just slides up this way. Look at that, good packaging. No damage so far, which is nice. And there it is. Look at that. It reminds me of like a little turbo. All right, so let's see if we can get this out. All right, that's actually all that's in here, I think. Let's take a look here. Yep, that's it. All right, cool. So let's take a closer look at this guy right here. I actually have to lift it up more to show it to you guys. It's so small. All right, so let's just give a grand little tour of this. So we have some type of fan on this side here. Now, this is what really makes this miner very different. This is really first time we've really seen something like this in the home mining industry, and these are individual cartridges. We'll talk about that more in a minute. We have a TF card slot, a Type-C USB for power. We have another one of these turbo looking fans on this side, and then we have a push button on this side with some ventilation, and we can see some of the hash boards and circuits inside there. On the bottom, and you can see the rubber feet on the bottom side here, Goldshell Byte mini server chassis is what they're calling this here. So that's actually what they're giving us. And this is not a cheap plastic. This is actually like pretty strong, to be honest with you. I'm actually impressed. It's not like this rinky-dink plastic home product. Now, what these are, and I don't know if this is the technical term, feel free to correct me in chat, is these are, I'm calling them cartridges. Feel free to call them whatever you want, but we have a fan built in, which is pretty slick. We can see this copper here is actually part of the heat sink. And then this is almost like your cartridge. And we actually have, it almost looks like a SATA connection here for power and data. And when we look at the bottom here, it actually calls it data adapter card. So it's not necessarily calling it a cartridge. They're calling it a data adapter card. And this says DG card, which is the Dogecoin card for script mining. And that's what really sets this apart, is that this unit, you can mine multiple algorithms, which is not traditional with ASIC miners, especially home ASIC miners. Each cartridge is completely independent and has its own configuration on the setup and configuration screen. Same thing here, data adapter card AE. This is Aleo. So each of these does differently. So we have an Aleo cartridge or data card, and then we have a Dogecoin one. And the Aleo one does 5.5 mega hash, while the Dogecoin one actually does 80 mega hash. And they're roughly right around that same area of about 65 watts. So combined, we're looking at about 140 watts. We will put that to the test today. But the nice thing is, this almost opens up the door for home miners to kind of jump in at different avenues. And I've heard that there will be something like a Kaspa cartridge coming down the road and a Bitcoin cartridge for solo Bitcoin mining possibly coming down the road as well. So the nice thing is when you install these, I mean, look, this is just the chassis. There's not much to it. We're just taking these here and we're just sliding it in. Once it's fully in, then we're just going ahead and pressing down on the clip. And there we go. It goes in nice and easy, nothing really to it, and makes it really easy and convenient. Now, the nice thing is, you got your button on the front, but on this back side here, the only thing we're going to end up plugging in is the USB Type-C. And we actually have that power cable right here, which is nice and convenient. There's our USB Type-C. So you guys can plug this in anywhere at home. And it does come with a variety of different adapters if you guys need them based off where you're located in the world and your style of electrical plug. Then on your phone, you just bring up the IP address. You put it in the browser, just like you would type in www.google.com. You type in 192.168.77.1, and you hit enter, and it's going to bring up our configuration page for the Goldshell. Now, the nice thing is what you're going to do is you're just going to go to unlock, and it's going to ask you for the password. Now, don't panic. The password is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I know. Super, super secure. And we're just going to hit go, and unlock. And that's going to unlock it. We don't need to save that password. And now what we want to do is we actually want to connect it to our home wireless so that we can actually set it up over on the computer. Now there is an app, the Goldshell Zone app, that you can do to do a lot of this as well. But I'm going to go ahead and click the bars in there. And then if you click on system, it's going to give you an option to connect to your home wireless. Go ahead and do that now, and I'll see you guys over on the computer. We're over on the computer, and the app I was telling you guys about was the Goldshell Zone app, available on the Apple Store and on the Android Play Store. You can keep up to date on your miners, whether you're at home or not. It allows you to go ahead and have remote access to reboot them, to change configurations and such. So you can see all the features listed down below here. So go check it out if you're interested. Now, once I connected my Goldshell Byte to my home wireless network, you can actually come over to findmygoldshell.com and it will give you the IP address. Once you have the IP address, you can type it in at the top of your browser. And here we are. We are on the Goldshell Byte dashboard. And this will allow you to configure the miner. So our home screen is pretty simple, very easy. Just kind of shows you some basic information. This will actually get populated with the mining information here in a minute once we're up and mining. First thing you're going to do though is go to unlock in the upper right hand corner, and we do need to log back in with that same password 1 through 9 and hit unlock. Now that's going to give us the ability to configure the miner. Now on the left hand side we have miner and systems. Systems where we connected it to our home wireless. Miner is really where we're going to hang at currently right now. So we have two options starting at the top. We have LTC and we have Aleo. So what that means is that we need to add our mining pool for Litecoin or script mining, which also includes Dogecoin, and also Aleo. And we're going to be using via BTC for our script mining for Litecoin and Dogecoin. And we're going to be using DX pool for Aleo here on the right-hand side. Now it does give us some options for the miner. There's high power mode. We don't have, the dropdown isn't functional as of now to do like a low power mode or sleep mode. And we do have some other toggles down here. So to set this up on via BTC, very simple. I'm logged into viabtc.com. I created an account, went to the top left-hand corner and selected LTC, which we're going to earn Doge and Litecoin here. And in the bottom right-hand corner, or left-hand corner, sorry, it gives us our stratum. That's like our server information. So we're going to hit copy. Then we're going to jump back over to our miner. And you're actually going to make sure that we're on the LTC option and click add. And then we're going to paste that in under URL. Next step we're going to do is go back to via BTC. And you can see here it's telling you that you're going to use the account name, thehobbyistminer.workerid. When we go back over to the miner, we're just going to paste that in, thehobbyistminer.workerid. And I'm going to remove worker ID and just put in all lowercase, Goldshell Byte. And then password, I'm just going to hit X and I'm going to hit apply. Now it's going to take a few minutes for this to get up and running, but this is only for the one cartridge that we talked about. We now need to go over to Aleo and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go over to Aleo and hit add. And it's going to ask us for the URL and the miner name. So I'm going to go over to DX pool. I create an account on DX pool and we're going to go to dashboard. Once we're over here on dashboard, a very similar setup on here. I believe if we go back to statistics, I believe. Yep, there it is. So it tells us that here's our pool information. So we're going to copy that. We're going to go back over to our Goldshell Byte, paste it in, and now it wants the miner name. And for the miner name, you can use your same scenario, which there's two ways you can do it. And I hate to overcomplicate it. You can use your sub account. So thehobbyistminer.again. For me, mine's a little bit different because I started very early on DX pool. So mine is actually my Aleo wallet address. So I'm going to paste that in. But for you guys, most likely by the time you're watching this, you would use thehobbyistminer. Your worker name. So I'm just going to do my pool at the address dot, and then I'm going to do the same thing. Goldshell Byte. Same name is perfectly fine. Go into password, hit X, and hit apply. And we're going to give this a few minutes to get up and hashing, and we'll be back here shortly. All right, we've been up and hashing for about 15 minutes now. It's a little bit louder than I expected, and I'm going to show you guys here in just a second. Taking a look at the watts are actually under what I expected, only just under 130, about 129 watts. So that is awesome to see. Now, I did pick up an additional AE card. This is the Aleo one, and I'm probably going to be putting this in after today's video. So I'm running 2 AE cards just because Aleo is significantly more profitable today. So talking about noise, I do have a dB meter. Let's go ahead and put that out here because it's a little bit louder, not crazy, but a little bit louder. So about 41 to 42 dB. It's not terrible. If you were to put this on your desk right next to you, maybe while you're working, you know, it sounds like a fan, like you have a fan blowing on you. So maybe not right next to you at all times if you're into a bunch of meetings, but still, it's not obnoxiously loud or anything. Now, when we take a look over here, let's talk about temps. So at first, it's hot to the touch. Want to make that clear. So it looks like, yeah, you can feel the heat coming out of the back of it here. The exhaust side is actually where the cartridges go in and out. So this side is your intake side. That's like ice cold, which is great. But then this side here is definitely pumping out the heat. So to give you guys a little cross comparison here, if we go ahead, just turn this on, you know, 91, barely anything, okay? But then if we flip this around here, and we just point it right on here, you can see 130. Now, this is nothing to be concerned about. Those of you guys who have been following the channel for a while know that those temps are nothing too crazy. But something I did want to look at, we've seen with other home small miners that are USB Type-C, is the actual power adapter being super hot. So let's check here. So this is definitely warm. It's warm. It's not too hot. It's definitely warm here. 113 Fahrenheit. So it's not too bad, but it's definitely warmer. But we have to remember, it is putting through 129 watts all at once here. All right, let's jump over to the computer and see how it's doing. All right, we're back over on the computer. We've been up and mining for almost 20 minutes now, and you can see our homepage is much more populated. So we can see we're at 81.45 mega hash. And we've been up and running for about the 18 minutes there. So it's given us some really good information. And down below here, it actually gives us all the stats on the individual data adapter card, they call it, or I'm calling it cartridge. But you can see your fan speeds are here, the temperature, all those additional details. And then when you click here, AE card, this is where it shows you additional information over here. And look at this. This is actually at 6.9. But if we take a look at actually the advertising information that's out there, the marketing information, AE is coming in at 5.5. So I'm not complaining that we're getting a little bit more than advertised. Jumping over to via BTC, we're just going to refresh here. We're going to go to workers and we're going to scroll down here. And for Dogecoin, Litecoin first, we can see we're at 84.11 on the pool side. When we jump over to the Aleo side, let's refresh this here and scroll down. We have a few Aleo miners, and our bottom one here, it's currently reading 5.69, which is still over that 5.5. However, we're going to give it some time. Same thing with via BTC. You really got to give these miners some time on the pool, almost over an hour to get some of those metrics. Now, let's talk about profitability. So we're over on mining now, and I'm going to say right now, I don't recommend the Goldshell Byte for straight profit. If you're chasing profits and you're like, I want to get rich off of crypto, this isn't the miner for you. As I've stated previously, I think this is a great miner to learn on, to advance your knowledge in crypto, to help get you set up with the first one, because once you set up one, you can kind of set up them all. But I'm not recommending this miner if you're purely in this, buying this unit for profitability. You're kind of getting what you pay for with the price of this unit. But let's take a closer look. So miningnow.com, we're going to go over to ASIC miners. We're going to type in Byte, and it's going to bring up the Byte, but it's only showing information, the 5.5 mega hash, Aleo information. See the 5.5, 65 watts. So on the Aleo card, it's showing that if I have 10-cent electric up here in the upper right-hand corner, you're making about 42 cents a day. So you're not, as I said, you're not getting rich off of this unit. Now we are going to do the math more particularly here. So let's actually do this per card. So we're over at what to mine. And we talked about the Aleo card doing 6.7. So we're going to do 6.7. And if I do bring up a calculator real quick to take a look at this, you know, we said 129. We're just going to divide that by 2. That's going to give us 64.5. 64.5. And we're going to hit calculate. So if you were running just the Aleo card here, we would be bringing in 6.177 Aleo per day. Now, Aleo's not doing so great here. We'll take a look in a minute. Just the entire market today, recording this on the 7th of April, it's not doing so hot. But what this is saying is our revenue is 78 cents. It's going to cost us 15 cents to run every day. We're going to bring in about 62 cents a day. So significantly more than what our calculator there previously had showed us. Now, if we take a look at what we're running on Dogecoin, 81.85. So let's jump over here, 81.85. And now that's actually gigahash. So we do need to change this down. We do need to go down to a lot less and hit calculate here. And on this side of the world, we are bringing in 4.47, which is giving us about 51 cents a day in profit. But what I want to kind of help you guys focus on is your actually estimated rewards per day, which is 4.47, because that's really, the real goal of the Goldshell Byte is to learn about mining. And so being able to yield, 6 to 10 coins a day, which I think is a great avenue to go. Now, jumping over to CoinGecko, let's take a look at Dogecoin right now. Dogecoin's not at the best place, but it's a great time to mine, right? If you're just accumulating at 14 cents. If we take a look at the last year, we had a great pump from this kind of late November into February. And that was really up there over 40 cents. We're now down to 14. So that does show you that Dogecoin does have potential to get back up to that point as well. Now, if we also search for Aleo, man, newer coin to the market, looking at the last year, it's down low at 12 cents. I mean, man, back in October, it was at $6.50. So what does that tell you? That tells you that this miner does have the potential to get upwards and do a lot better from the profitability perspective. But as I talked about before, I do not recommend this miner if you're looking to kind of chase profitability. This is a great miner at a low budget price point to learn about mining. We're over on Goldshell's product website here. You can see it ranges from 254 up to 691. It really comes down to the combination you pick of like what cards you pick, one DG card, one AE card, or two AE cards. You can kind of go through your different combinations here and add it to the cart. I will add a link down below if you're interested in buying this directly from Goldshell. Now, what I wanted to also show you was there's other places to buy from, other resellers to buy from. And you can see we're over on ASIC Marketplace. I use them often. You can see that they even have here a byte plus a free DG card. So that's just one card, that kind of shows you the price is $379 with the actual chassis. Or you can do the byte with two DG cards is $469. You can do the byte, a DG card, and an AE card, which is what you saw in today's video. That's $569. But if you want to go for the byte, one DG card, and two AE cards, you can for $799 as well. So great kind of breakdown there over on ASIC Marketplace. Now we have the same breakdown and pricing over at Crypto Miner Bros, another location that I've used many, many times. And if you're looking at it, their pricing is pretty much identical. Now that I go ahead and click through this, I think your profit margins are very slim on this. So a lot of these resellers have them very, very close. Finally, we're over on Helium Deploy, which has started carrying more and more of these ASIC miners out there. It is currently sold out on their site. You can't buy it quite yet, or it's already been sold out, but you can click notify me when in stock. But man, their pricing was actually the lowest at $353 when these were for sale on their site. So if you want to be notified when these do drop, go ahead and click notify me when stocked, and you can type in your email address to be notified. All right, so the Goldshell AE box, I think this is awesome for those of you guys looking to get into home mining, test the waters, a great proof of concept. Guys, would love to know your thoughts directly down below. If you're an avid miner, a well-experienced miner, you got full-size ASICs or GPUs or a bunch of box miners at home, as I said before, I don't think this was designed or intended for you. I don't think you were that demographic. As I said before, this is great for that brother-in-law looking to get into mining and wants a recommendation on where to start and how to learn. Guys, leave comments directly down below on your thoughts on the Goldshell Byte. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.